Hi, I'm Allison Beard, an editor at HBR, and I'm here today with John Bashirs and Francesca Gino, both professors at Harvard Business School and authors of the article Leaders as Decision Architects. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure to be here.
So you've both spent a lot of time studying decision making and how most of us, employees, managers, customers, make the wrong ones. But you've developed an approach to structuring work that's supposed to help us solve that problem. So can you walk me through it?
Sure. The first step is to understand why all of us often make poor decisions. We rely too much on what Daniel Kahneman calls System 1 thinking. System 1 thinking is emotional, intuitive, automatic. And relying too much on it leads to all sorts of cognitive biases like overconfidence, groupthink, loss aversion, and a preference for the status quo. But it's also possible for people to engage what Daniel Kahneman calls System 2 thinking more often. And System 2 is more deliberate, more logical, and slower. And it tells us when our intuitions are wrong and when our emotions are clouding our judgments. The second step is to define the problem. We recommend that leaders who are interested in using our approach think about three factors: whether the problem is caused by something that has to do with human behavior, whether the problem can be narrowly defined, and whether people are acting against their best interest. And then after defining the problem, the third step is to understand the underlying causes of it. You should ask two questions: whether the problem is mainly due to a lack of motivation or insufficient motivation, so is people failing to act, or whether the problem is due to the fact that people are taking actions but they're taking the wrong one. For example, John worked with a retailer who was trying to cut some healthcare costs by getting his employees to sign up for mail prescriptions rather than picking up their prescriptions at the pharmacy.
Yes, that was a narrow problem where people were not acting in their best interests. What the employer realized was that when employees switch from in-person pharmacy pickup of maintenance prescriptions to home delivery of maintenance prescriptions. And these are things like drugs for high cholesterol, high blood pressure. Actually, both the company sponsoring the prescription drug plan and the employees would save money. But many employees were not getting around to signing up for home delivery. And the reason was inertia, a lack of motivation. And so that's a case where people should have been doing something that was in their best interest and helping the company along the way, but they simply weren't because of the problems that Daniel Kahneman has laid out for us.
So what did the company do to change their behavior?
Right, that's step 4 of our process: design the solution. In this case, what the company decided to do was get people to engage System 2. And the way it did that was by encouraging employees to make an active choice. So employees could decide to switch to home delivery of their maintenance prescriptions, or they could stick with in-person pharmacy pickup. But either way, in order to take advantage of the benefits of the prescription drug plan, what employees had to do was actively indicate which of those two options they preferred. They could stay with in-person pharmacy pickup, but in order to do so, they needed to indicate that that was their choice by mail or by making a phone call or by going online. And the process wasn't designed to be onerous at all. It was a very simple, trivial process. But what it did was it caused employees to pause for a moment to reflect on whether they might want to switch to home delivery. And in fact, upon reflection, a lot of them decided that they did want to switch to home delivery. This very simple change led to a 6-fold increase in the number of employees receiving maintenance prescriptions by mail.
Wow.